Hiya. Hello guys. I'm gonna share with you my experience of what happened to me at the cemetery. Most of you know that I've lost my husband last year. Most of you. Most of you know what I've been through, but not everything. Um, on the 20th of July, before I tell you what happened, I want you guys to share this video. I'm gonna upload it on my YouTube channel as well, because I just like to put my journey on YouTube. On the 20th of July, I went to the cemetery to see my husband. Ever since I lost my husband last year, I would go see him like every week. Every week I would go there until started to affect my health. So I slowed down. I put it back to like every 2 weeks, still affecting my health. So I put it to every 5 weeks or 6 weeks. I got up on the 20th of July and the weather was spot on. The weather was so beautiful. I decided to go see honey. I went Costco, grocery shopping. Then right after we dropped off the stuff and we drove down to see him. We got there after 1 o'clock. And as soon as we get there, I stop at the main office to discuss stuff about his headstone. Then we drove down to where he is. When we got there, the place was in a mess because we have heavy rain that lasts maybe 2 weeks. It was in a state, so I had a lot of work to do. So basically, ever since he left us, whenever time I go there, I would put on his favorite music while I work. I would put my phone on the cross and I will start off with his one of his favorite that I think his sisters is something like I've gone too far. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and that song, he loves it. He loves it. When we met several years ago, whenever time trouble come, he would sing that song. And he would still sing it. He loves it. So I always started off with that song while I work. For this time, I went there. I didn't do that. I did not do that. We parked the car. Where my husband is in the cemetery, he's on the main. So it's like a main road. You get the front row. Yeah. We put the car like 3 meters where he is, but facing him. And that's something we do over a year now. We never wind up the glass fully because we're right there and we're taking out stuff to and forth, packing back. So same thing. Same thing we did. car. But while I'm working, I had my bag over my shoulder. And that bag mean a lot to me because that bag was my husband. And that was a bag that he took to church with him every Sunday. So ever since he left us, I would take that bag everywhere. I put letters in it that he wrote to me. I had jewelry for him. I had sentimental stuff in it that if I'm on the bus or if I'm in work, I will just take it out and I will just look at it and smile. So I have the bag over my shoulder, and I'm working, planting beautiful flowers for him. And my uncle was there. He was the one who drove me. So he said, take the bag off so I can do a better job. And I said, no. And I continue working, and he repeat himself 3 times. So the 3rd time when he said that, I took the bag off my neck and I put it over his neck because he was sitting down on the bench facing my husband, honey. So I put the bag over his neck and I continue working. But for some reason, Uncle wanted to help me. He wanted to go fetch the water for me to moist the soil. So what he did, he put my bag in the car. I've never ever done that over that year since I've been going there. Uncle, being uncle, he put the bag in his car at the back where I sit all the time. And was fetching the water to and forth and where they're working. To cut it short, when we finish and we're ready to go, my uncle said, where is his bag? No, I need to go back before I get to this point. When I'm planting the flowers, there wasn't a lot of people there. There was one person when we get there, and that person like way over in the 7th row or 8th row, way behind, honey. A young guy. 2 more people came up. I saw them when they came. I mean, where we park the car and where my husband is, there's no one can come and go and I don't see them because I have a clear view. And when I'm at the side and I'm digging, I'm looking and I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing everything. So the security van that normally patrol. Ever since I'm going there, I always get this creepy feeling when they're coming down because sometimes I wonder if something happened because they would come down so slow. They would come so slow. And I always looking at them coming up. Okay, for this time, they're driving. The driver was coming by slowly. So I saw him, but I continue working. And he take his time and drove by. Within 2 minutes, he came by again. And I saw him coming up, and I kind of scared when I saw him coming up like that. Not just on the 20th of July. Anytime I go there, I got a creepy feeling. And when he came up the 2nd time, what he did, he stopped in front of my husband, in front of me. And when I saw him stopped, I observed it, I noticed. So I looked up. And when I looked up, the person waved at me. I couldn't see clearly who it was, but the person waved at me because they know that I was looking at them. And I waved back and they stopped. That person stopped. So when that person stopped, there's no seeing the car because he was in the middle of the road. and he drove off back. And I continued working. So when we were ready to left now, my uncle said, "Where's my bag?" I said, "I didn't see you with your bag, uncle." He said, "Yes, I have a green bag with my stuff in it." And then when he said that, I said, "Where's my bag?" I look in the car, no bag. The car was empty. The car was empty. They stole our stuff. I cried. I flattened down to the floor. I looked under the bottom of the car. I went back in the trunk. I went in the bin, because there's a bin that you put the dead flowers, the one them you tossing away. I looked in it. I looked all over. There's no bags, and I started to cry. I started to cry and I started to scream because I knew what's inside of my bag. And no one see anything. It was at that time it was 3 of us there. Not 5 people didn't came while we were there. It was very empty because it was a very hot day, very, very hot, sunny. But I went there because I knew I haven't been there in a while and I just wanted to go. So my bag, they stole it, and they stole my uncle's stuff, everything. My house key was in the bag, my phone. We were like stranded. Good thing my uncle had the car key in his pocket. So we managed to drive down back to the office. And I started to cry and I said, they stole our stuff. Someone stole our stuff. And straight away, one of the guy in the office came out. I think he's more like a manager for the security department, watching the CCTV. And he came out and he's asking me if I see anything, if there's anyone suspect. And I'm saying, no, I didn't see anything. I was right there. I didn't see anything. And he's like questioning me. He's just questioning me and telling me to think of any suspicious person that might came by. And I just telling him who I saw came. And every person I said, he said, this is a suspect. That one is a suspect. But I knew I saw them come, and I didn't see anyone went to the car. I can see the car if anyone dare to go there. Much more to go to the front seat and then to go to the back seat where my bag was. And anyway, we called the police, and I was on the phone for a while telling them what I know. I was blank, to be honest, that day, because when something happened, you can't think straight. And to think that you're right in a cemetery, you're right there, people there just to steal. People there know that when you lost your loved one and you go there, hold on, let me fix this. People go to the cemetery and they know that when you lost your loved one, right here is not there totally when you're there in the cemetery. So I left crying. I passed out in that office for a couple seconds, and two ladies hold me up and took me to the car. And I was just picturing my husband looking, and it might sound silly, but I'm just thinking he was there looking at me and wanted to help me and couldn't help me. I couldn't hear him because he was like, how should I put it? No one could touch me in a way because he was rough. He was rough. He was more, my bodyguard in a way. So I cried, left. I cried and came home. Good thing my son was home, so he opened the door for me and let me in. So as soon as I get indoor, I pick the phone, the house phone up, and I start to call the banks because I have so many stuff in my bag, so many sentimental stuff, so many things. And I called the bank, and they told me that my card was been used. The person, as soon as they snatched my card, they went to the nearest shop they could get and started to use my money. Now, we all know about the contact lens. You have limited amount to top when you buy. You don't need to enter a PIN code. You top. So they knew how it runs, so they tried to use as much as they can before I stopped it. So the bank picked it up that it wasn't me, and they stopped it even before I called. And they went to use a second card of mine, and they did, but they didn't get as much as what they did with the first one because I don't know, maybe the bank worked together, they all picked up stuff, passed things on. So they didn't get as much because the second one picked it up straight away as soon as it started and stopped it. But what that person did, they made several attempts even when they couldn't get a penny more. They made with one card 10 attempts, the other card 15 attempts, and they didn't get anything after. So my thing was, in a place like the cemetery, where you go to see your loved one, you go, to spend quiet moments and talk and clean up. You're not even safe in a cemetery. You're not safe. Because what I was told as well, where my husband was, there wasn't any camera. No, there wasn't any camera. Where the camera were, at the main gate and certain place, but not where my husband was. Now, whoever did it knew where the camera are. They knew there wasn't no camera there. So they monitor us when we go there. I think that person been monitoring me for a while, and they knew that we always leave the car window off crack. And then, but the thing, I've never ever put my bag in the car. I always have it over my neck. So this particular time, it was there, and they saw it, and they just took them both and used up all the bank card that they could from both me and my uncle. Yeah. Now all those stuff that it was in my bag meant something to me. Everything that was there meant something personal to me, and they took it away. They maybe tossed the bag somewhere. They don't care. They just took the money and used the cards and took whatever jewelry that was there because they're after money. Yeah. I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I cried. Some people might say it's a petty thing. It's, you have life. Yeah, I know I have life. But what was in that bag meant something to me. What was in that bag affected me. Yeah, it affected me. It put a hole back in my heart. Yeah, I didn't sleep for about 3 nights. I didn't pray for those 3 nights. Because I'm thinking, why me? Why me? Again, I've lost my dad last year. I've lost my husband. That was like 3 weeks apart in April. I've get COVID. Yeah, I did. I did get COVID in December. I know you didn't know about it because I didn't say, but I did get COVID. I got it from work. It was going like crazy, and I got it. And I've been through so much, so much. But I still keep going. I still keep going. And for this to happen to me, it shake me up. I am not going to lie. It shake me up again. So I didn't pray. And then one night I was in my bed and someone came up to me. And that person said, "Why aren't you pray?" I just laid on in my bed still and not saying a word. And the person whispered and said, "Continue pray." I said, "Continue, don't stop." So I got up the morning and I started to talk to the Creator. But while I was talking, I was more like arguing because I'm saying, why is this happening to me? Why all the time? Am I a bad person? I know I'm not. So why? Why let me go through all this? So by talking and talking, I talked to my family, my sister. And I remember my sister said, the one who lives in Miami, she said to me, "Sis, look at it. It could have been like you saw who was taking the bag, and because you see something worse could have happened." And I said to her, "Yeah, that's true." And that is so true, because if I did see that person, trust me, I would have fight for my bag. I would have fight for it because of what I knew what was in my bag. So yes, everything happened for a reason, and it was a damn good reason for me not to see that person. So I started to talk back to the Father, and started to pray more. And I don't know, but I know that I have to hold on to my faith and what I believe in, and not let anything take that away from me. So I'm back on Facebook. If you notice, I've been just giving my scriptures because that's what come to my mind now. Said keep reading the Bible, and every time you read that Bible, you post a part of the scripture on your page. So I've been doing it, and yeah, just praying. I'm just praying for better, I'm just praying for better, and to have good health. And I'm praying for the world. I'm praying for even those evil people who took my stuff and not even know what they have done to me, because I can't do any better. I can't wish bad for them. I really can't. So what I want you guys to do for me is to continue, because I know on my page I have a few people who's there for me. Some of you don't know me in person, but you follow me every step of the way. Everything I've posted, you click my like and you comment. So there are a few that know me. So continue praying for me and my family too. Continue, because we need all the prayer that we can get. And and I will pray for each and every one of you as well, because you know what? We all need to pray for each other. We all need to do it, because something like being robbed in the cemetery. How many of us would dream that in the cemetery people are there to steal? People are there. People are waiting for someone to die to go to the cemetery, because that is where they can get their money. I still can't believe it, but it happened to me. So I know it is real. They're thieves in the cemetery. And the funny thing is, where I laid my husband to rest, they said there's no camera. And I said, my sister's right. I could lost my life. And then what are they gonna say? There's no camera there? There's no camera there? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. There is no camera. Now, if someone could have steal our belongings, something else could have happened. And my thing is that what can be done to prevent, another person lost their sentimental stuff or something else happen in the cemetery without people are gonna say there's no camera. But I'm gonna go now. So what I want you to do is subscribe, like, and share, and leave a comment if you can, on Facebook as well. Yeah, but I'm gonna love you and leave you. Stay safe. Bye.